So could you tell me a bit about your character? Because you're almost the arch villain of this piece, even with a giant crocodile and a...
That's true, yeah. Sort of the mastermind behind these creatures. Her name is Claire Wyden, and she is a very rich business owner of something that's quite similar to CRISPR. Geneticists and coding DNA, and so basically she takes these scientists and have them create a serum that creates creatures who start destroying Chicago.
Rampaging. So could you talk about your kind of interactions with Jake Lacey? Because the two of you were kind of, although villains, kind of the most broadly comic, and can you talk about how it was to interact?
That man is one of the funniest guys I have ever met, which made it really tough to stay serious the whole time, because every take, right before they called action, I was in stitches. I was laughing. And at that point, you start to look at a person and they don't have to say anything because they just look funny at that point, because everything he said was funny. And even his character is quite, he's a bit of a doofus. Yeah. And Brad Payton has no self-control either. So I could hear him off in Video Village chuckling to himself, which made it even more difficult. We had a blast.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then at the end, I mean, you end up becoming, it's almost an action movie by the end, and you get involved in the deep of it. So is that your first kind of involvement with wire work since Watchmen, or?
Yeah, I think it is. I haven't done anything since then, which is almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? Yeah, I always like that.
Yeah.
I love the action bits of it. Although, to try to keep up with The Rock, I don't think
I
I
can't
want to
imagine
go
that.
there.
I mean, he's 3 times the size of me.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Yeah. Was there any kind of competition there, gentle competition?
Of course. I mean, but...
Yeah.
You know who won, right? No, he's lovely. He's so disarming when you actually meet him. He's like a big teddy bear.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, very charismatic and positive and lovely.
Yeah, well, they don't share screen time with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Was there any kind of gentle kind of remembrance post-Watchmen?
Of course, yeah. I mean, we were like two ships. He'd be coming in and I'd be leaving. But we had a bit of time just catching up, and especially now when we're sort of doing this press tour, we get to hang out a bit more. It's so nice to see him, and so much has happened since then.
Yeah.
We've both had kids, and a lot has gone on in these past 9 years. But I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and I got one final question. I mean, Children's Hospital didn't get shown here, but I passionately, and I've had to kind of find it on YouTube. Can you talk about making that and kind of how it's had a sort of massive impact on alternative comedy?
I love that show. I think they're brilliant. Rob Corddry and David Wayne and John Stern, who sort of are the creators, it's such an interesting comedy because it walks that very fine line, but it never really goes over.
Yeah.
It's just, I loved making that show, and it was 6 weeks of the year, and it was like a family reunion every year. Sad to see it go.
Yeah.
But everyone started it was so hard to figure out schedules, but that was talk about a great set. I mean, we had a lot of fun on that set. Some good actors.